Mark, I've got to tell you something funny. Last week, I was reading The Great Gatsby, and for the longest time,
Oh yeah, what happened?
I thought the book was called The Great Gatsby. Like, I thought Gatsby was just gasping in surprise all the time.
Gasping, seriously?
I know, right?
Ha! I can totally imagine it now. Gatsby walks into a room, gasp, and everyone's like, "What's going on, Gatsby?"
Exactly. He's just like, oh, I'm surprised. It would have been such a different book. Mark, what's the first book you ever read that made you think, wow, this is amazing?
It was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. But here's the thing, I thought Hogwarts was a hotel at first, like
That would have been fun. Welcome to Hogwarts, where you study magic and get room service.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speaking English Daily Dose. I'm Sarah, and I am so excited to have you here with us today. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you're already brushing up on your skills, this is the place where you can practice and improve, one real-life conversation at a time. We're here to make learning English as fun and natural as possible.
Hey there, I'm Mark. We're thrilled to have you join us for another great episode. At Speaking English Daily Dose, we focus on speaking the way we really talk. No complicated grammar or confusing words, just simple and natural conversations. Think of us as your English buddies, always ready to help you learn and speak with confidence.
Exactly. We're all about making English feel easy and fun. Today's episode is all about something we both love, books. Who doesn't enjoy getting lost in a good book, right? Well, today we're going to share some of our personal favorites and talk about why books are such an important part of our lives. We'll also be chatting about the types of books we enjoy, what makes a book special, and even a few stories about our reading habits. We hope you'll be inspired to share your own favorite books with us too.
And we're sure that if you're a book lover like we are, you're going to love today's conversation. Whether you're into fiction, mysteries, or something else, there's something for everyone when it comes to books. Plus, it's a great way to practice your English listening and speaking skills in a fun way.
So don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends. You won't want to miss any of our new content.
All right, let's dive into today's topic, favorite books. We can't wait to share what we're reading and hear all about your favorite reads too.
So, Mark, how was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
Oh, it was pretty chill actually. I spent most of it at home, couching up on some TV shows. What about you?
Nice. I was actually out with some friends. We went to a little cafe by the lake. The weather was so nice, so we just sat outside, chatted, and enjoyed the sunshine.
That sounds amazing. It's always nice to get outside when the weather is good. I've been stuck inside a lot recently, with work and everything. But I really need to get outside more. How about you? Do you usually get outside a lot?
I try to. I think it's important to take breaks from the screen, but honestly, sometimes I just get wrapped up in a book and I lose track of time.
Oh, I can totally relate to that. Sometimes I get so into a book that I forget about everything around me. It's like I'm in a completely different world.
Exactly. It's one of the best things about reading, right? Escaping into a new world. Speaking of which, have you read anything interesting lately?
Actually, yes. I've been reading a thriller. It's a little spooky, but really fun. I'll tell you more about it later. How about you? What's your current read?
I'm reading a historical fiction novel right now. It's set in ancient Egypt. I love books that take me to another time and place. It's like a mini vacation for my mind.
That sounds so cool. I love stories that are set in different times too. I think I'd like to read something like that soon.
You should. There's something magical about getting lost in a different world. Plus, you learn a lot too.
Totally. And it's a great way to practice English. You know, the more we read, the more new words and expressions we pick up.
That's so true. Speaking of new words, we're about to talk all about books, and I'm sure we'll use some great vocabulary. So let's dive in. So, Mark, what makes a book good for you? Is it the plot, the characters?
Good question. I think it's definitely a mix of things. For me, I need characters that feel real. I want to care about what happens to them, you know? It's not just about the story, it's about connecting with the people in the book.
That's a great point. I agree. If I don't care about the characters, it's hard to stay interested. But I also love when a book has a strong plot. I don't want to know what's going to happen next right away.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you there. I like to be surprised. It's exciting when the author keeps you guessing.
Exactly. It's like a puzzle that you're trying to solve as you read. It keeps the pages turning. And what about the writing style? Do you think that's important?
Definitely. If the writing is too heavy or hard to follow, it can make a great story feel boring. But if it flows easily, it's like the book is pulling you in.
Yes, I love when the writing feels smooth but still packs a punch. Like it's not too simple, but it's not too complicated either. It needs to feel natural.
For sure. And a good book also makes you think, doesn't it? I love when a book sticks with me after I finish reading it.
Me too. It's like you can't stop thinking about the characters or the themes. It makes you reflect on your own life in a way. So, speaking of books, what's your favorite genre to read?
That's a tough one, but I'd say thrillers and mysteries. I just love trying to solve the puzzle before the characters do. It's always exciting, trying to figure out who did it or what's going to happen next. There's something about the suspense that keeps me hooked. Every chapter feels like a clue leading to the big reveal, and I can't stop until I know what happens.
Ooh, thrillers. I can see how that would be fun. There's definitely something thrilling about being on the edge of your seat, right? I'm more into historical fiction, though. I love learning about different time periods. It's like traveling in time, but without leaving your chair. And when it's written well, it feels like I'm living in that time, experiencing history through the characters.
I totally get that. I've read a couple of historical novels and they're really cool. There's something special about diving into a different time, learning about past events through personal stories. It makes history feel so real. But for me, I just find mysteries more my speed because they're fast-paced and they keep me engaged. The constant twists and turns keep me turning pages.
That's fair. I get lost in the world building of historical novels. I love when a book can transport me to a completely different era, whether it's ancient Rome or Victorian London. But I have to admit, there's something exciting about solving a mystery, too. That feeling when you guess the ending or when the book throws in a surprising twist that you didn't see coming, it's so satisfying.
Right? It's like every clue builds up to the big reveal. It feels like solving a puzzle, and it's so rewarding when you finally figure it out. That sense of accomplishment is one of the best parts of reading thrillers. But hey, do you ever read any fantasy books?
I do, but only sometimes. Fantasy can be hit or miss for me. If the world building is too complex, it's hard to follow. Sometimes I get lost in all the details, like the magic systems or the different species. If the author spends too much time explaining everything, it kind of takes me out of the story. But when it's done well, it can be amazing.
I hear you. Some fantasy books can feel like they're trying to explain too much with all the rules and backstories, but when they get it right, it's awesome. You feel like you're escaping to a whole new world where anything is possible. The creativity in fantasy novels is incredible. It's like opening a door to a world that doesn't exist, yet you believe in it because the author makes it so real.
Exactly. When it works, it's like you're transported into a magical realm, and you're not just reading about it, you're experiencing it. But yeah, I totally agree with you about the world building. It's all about balance. If the author spends too much time explaining things, it can get bogged down. But when it's smooth and seamless, it's like the world just comes alive.
For sure. When it flows, fantasy can be so immersive. But at the end of the day, I think everyone has their own preferences. I love a good mystery, but historical fiction and fantasy have their charm too.
Exactly. It's all about what kind of story you're in the mood for. Sometimes you want to solve a puzzle, other times you want to escape to another time or a magical world. I think that's the beauty of reading. You can always find something that fits your mood. Speaking of escaping into worlds, what's a book that really changed your life or perspective?
That's a tough one. There are so many books that have impacted me in different ways, but if I had to choose, I'd say The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It really made me think about following my dreams and not letting fear hold me back. The way the main character, Santiago, goes on this journey to find treasure, only to realize that the real treasure was within him all along, really made me look at life differently.
I love that book. It's all about the journey, right? The idea that the answers to life are already within us. I think that's such a powerful message. It taught me that you have to trust the process and believe that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you're looking for answers outside, but the real answers come from within, like following your heart and your dreams.
Exactly. It showed me that the path to happiness isn't always straight, but it's worth the adventure. The ups and downs are part of the experience, and they help shape who you become. It also reminded me to embrace the challenges because they can lead to personal growth. Life isn't about waiting for things to happen, it's about going out and making it happen for yourself. That book pushed me to take risks I might have been too afraid to take otherwise.
That's beautiful. I think the whole idea of embracing the journey, even with all its uncertainty, is something that a lot of people can relate to. For me, I think To Kill a Mockingbird had a big impact. I read it when I was younger, and it taught me a lot about empathy and standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. The way Scout and Jan learned to understand the world around them and see things from other people's perspectives really opened my eyes.
That's a classic, such an important book. I think it changed a lot of people the way they see the world. The way it tackles issues like racism, injustice, and the loss of innocence is so powerful. It reminds us that it's important to stand up for what's right, even when it's not the popular thing to do. Atticus Finch is such a role model. His courage and moral compass are something we can all strive to emulate.
Definitely. And it's still so relevant today. The themes of justice and equality still speak to us. Even though the book was written in a different time, the lessons it teaches are timeless. It makes you question the systems in place and pushes you to think about the world in a way that's more just and fair. It taught me that sometimes doing the right thing isn't easy, but it's always worth it.
Absolutely. To Kill a Mockingbird teaches us that we need to keep fighting for justice, even when the odds seem stacked against us. And books like that, they don't just entertain us, they change us. They challenge us to think, to grow, and to become better versions of ourselves.
I couldn't agree more. Books have such a unique power to shape the way we see the world. It's amazing how one book can have such a lasting impact, and it's why I think we should all make time to read. You never know which book might change your life next.
I'm curious, Sarah, how often do you read? Do you read every day, or is it more of a once in a while thing?
I try to read every day, but you know how it goes. Sometimes life gets so busy. Between work, social stuff, and everything else, it can be tough to find the time. But I always make sure to read at least a few pages before bed. It's a nice way to wind down, you know? It helps clear my mind after a long day.
That's a great habit. I'm the same way.
I try to read for about 30 minutes each day. It's such a relaxing way to end the day. I find it helps me unwind and get into a calm, sleepy mood, especially if I've been staring at screens all day. It's like a switch off for my brain.
Right. It's like a mini escape. You can just dive into a book and forget about everything else, even if it's just for a little while. It's so refreshing. Sometimes I feel like reading is a way for me to recharge, even though it might seem like a small thing. But it's like my me time, where I can just focus on myself and not think about anything else.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. Reading in the evening is my way of shutting off all the noise of the day. After a busy day, it's nice to just curl up with a good book and get lost in it. Sometimes, if I'm reading something really gripping, I can't put it down even if I'm really tired.
Same here. And it's so much easier to focus when you're reading something you're really enjoying. I've noticed that if I don't read before bed, I just feel like I'm missing something. It's like I'm missing out on a little ritual that helps me reset.
Exactly. And I find that reading helps me sleep better. If I'm caught up in a book, I end up feeling more relaxed and ready for sleep. It's definitely better than scrolling through my phone or watching TV before bed. Reading is so much more calming.
It's like a mental reset. You get to pause for a moment, enjoy the story, and let your mind unwind. I feel like reading is just something I have to do. It's a part of my routine that I really look forward to.
Same here. I feel like reading is a small but important part of my day. Even if I don't have a lot of time, I try to read at least a few pages just to keep the habit going. It's a nice way to stay connected with books, even when life gets busy.
Definitely. It doesn't always have to be hours of reading. Even 10 or 15 minutes can do wonders for your mindset. It's all about consistency, you know?
Exactly. It's those little moments that add up. It's a great way to take care of yourself mentally. And in the long run, it keeps your mind sharp too. All right, let's take a moment to break down some of the key vocabulary we've used in this conversation. These words are really useful when talking about books, stories, and reading in general. We'll go through them one by one, explain what they mean, and give you some new examples to help you remember them.
Let's start with the word thriller. A thriller is a type of book or movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat, filled with excitement and suspense. We mentioned it when Mark was talking about reading a thrilling story. For example, in the dialogue, Mark said, "I've been reading a thriller. It's a little spooky, but really fun." It's a story that's fast-paced and makes you want to keep reading to find out what happens next. A new example could be, "The movie was a real thriller. I couldn't stop watching."
Yeah, exactly. But one thing to watch out for is that people sometimes confuse thriller with horror. The key difference is that thrillers focus more on excitement, suspense, and surprise, while horror is more about fear and scares. So thrillers get you excited and keep you guessing, while horror makes you feel scared or creeped out.
Next, let's talk about the word plot. The plot is the main series of events in a story, basically what happens in the book. I used it in the conversation when I said, I need characters that feel real, but I also love a strong plot. The plot is what keeps the story moving forward and makes you want to know what happens next. For example, in a movie, the plot might include a mystery that needs to be solved or a problem that needs to be fixed. A new example could be, the plot of the movie was really unexpected and I loved it.
Right. And one thing people sometimes confuse is the plot with the setting. The setting is where and when the story happens, like a city or a time period. The plot, on the other hand, is about what actually happens in the story. So remember, the plot is the action and the setting is the background.
Great point, Mark. Now, let's move on to world building. This is something you hear a lot in fantasy or science fiction stories. World building is the process of creating a detailed, believable world where the story takes place. It's about making the environment feel real, whether it's a magical kingdom or a futuristic city. In our conversation, I mentioned, I get lost in the world building of historical novels, meaning I love when the author creates such a detailed world that it feels like I'm really there. A new example could be, the author's world building in this fantasy novel was amazing. I could really picture it.
And a common mistake here is that some people think world building only applies to fantasy novels, but it's actually used in all genres. Even in historical fiction, the author has to build the world of that time period with all the details that make it feel real.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk about empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's not just about feeling sorry for someone, it's about truly understanding what they're going through. I mentioned how To Kill a Mockingbird taught me a lot about empathy and standing up for what's right. A new example could be, she showed so much empathy when her friend was feeling down.
Exactly. And sometimes people confuse empathy with sympathy. But sympathy is more about feeling sorry for someone, while empathy means putting yourself in their shoes and understanding their emotions.
Now, let's talk about perspective. Perspective is a particular attitude toward or a way of regarding something, how you see or think about things. I use it in the conversation when I said, it really changed my perspective on following my dreams. It made me look at things in a new way. A new example could be, reading different types of books can give you a new perspective on life.
Yep, exactly. And sometimes people confuse perspective with vision, thinking it's about how you see things physically, but it's actually about how you see or think about the world emotionally or intellectually.
Next, we have puzzle. A puzzle is something that tests your mind, like a game or a problem that's difficult to solve. We use it in the conversation when Mark said, I like to solve the puzzle before the characters do. It's that feeling you get when you're trying to figure something out, whether it's a mystery in a book or a crossword. A new example could be, this crossword puzzle is really tricky.
Yes, but a common mistake here is thinking a puzzle is just a toy or game. It can also refer to any kind of problem or challenge that requires solving, whether it's in a book or in real life.
And finally, let's talk about escape. Escape means to get away from a place or a situation, especially when it's stressful or boring. I used it in the conversation when I said, it's like escaping to a whole new world. Reading allows you to get away from your daily life and dive into something exciting. A new example could be, I love reading books because they let me escape from everyday stress.
Right. And a common mistake is confusing escape with avoid. Escape usually refers to a positive, enjoyable departure from reality, while avoid can mean trying to stay away from something because it's unpleasant. Escape is more about relaxation and fun.
Exactly. So, those are some great words to keep in mind. By using them in conversations, you'll be able to talk about books, stories, and the emotions they bring in a more natural and exciting way. All right, let's recap everything we've talked about today. We've been having such a great time exploring the worlds of books. We shared our favorite genres, talked about what makes a book really good, and discussed how books can have a lasting impact on our lives.
Yeah, it's been a really fun conversation. So we started by talking about characters. As we both agreed, a good book needs characters that feel real and relatable. Without strong characters, it's hard to stay connected to the story. And of course, the plot. If the plot is strong, it keeps you hooked. It makes you want to keep turning the pages to find out what's going to happen next.
Exactly. I think one of the best things about reading is the ability to escape into new worlds. Whether it's a thrilling mystery or a historical novel, books give us a chance to step away from our daily lives and experience something completely different.
For sure, and it's not just about escaping, it's about what you learn along the way. Books can change the way you think about things. They can challenge your perspectives, help you reflect on your own life, and sometimes even make you see the world in a new light.
That's so true. And we shared some books that have done just that for us. For me, To Kill a Mockingbird really taught me about empathy and justice. It made me think a lot about standing up for what's right, even when it's tough.
And for me, The Alchemist was the game changer. It helped me realize that following your dreams isn't always easy, but it's the journey that matters. It made me believe that the answers to life's big questions are often already inside us. We just need to look.
I think we both agree that books don't just entertain, they teach us something valuable. Whether it's about love, loss, justice, or dreams, the lessons we learn from books stay with us long after we finish reading.
Absolutely. And we also talked about how we read. It doesn't matter if you're reading every day or just when you can find the time. Reading is a habit that can really help you recharge. Whether it's 30 minutes before bed or just a few pages, making time for books gives you a moment of peace and reflection.
That's right. And now, after today's chat, you should feel more confident talking about your favorite books too. You can explain what you love about them, why they're meaningful to you, and share what makes them special.
So true. You'll be able to talk about books like we did today, whether you're chatting with a friend or practicing English. And just like us, you can share your thoughts and really dive into what makes a book amazing.
Exactly. So we hope this conversation has inspired you to talk more about books, share your favorites, and even discover some new ones along the way. Reading really is a way to open up to new ideas and adventures, and we hope you keep reading and exploring. Now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. What's your favorite book, and why do you love it?
For example, you can answer by saying something like, I love The Great Gatsby because it's such a deep story about the American dream.
Or you can say, my favorite book is Harry Potter because it's full of magic and adventure.
We'd love to read your answers in the comments below, so take a minute to think about it and let us know.
Thanks so much for listening today. We hope you enjoyed this conversation about our favorite books and that it helped you learn some new English phrases.
We love sharing these conversations with you, and we hope you'll practice speaking about your favorite books in English too. Remember, reading is a great way to improve your language skills.
Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more great conversations every week.
And don't forget, we'll have a new video up soon, so keep practicing and we'll see you next time. Thanks for being part of English Daily Dose.
Bye for now.